afternoon we're going to talk about Advanced SmartList Options for Dynamics GP. Recently I've been writing a document based on GDPR and conversations I've been having with our customers. And one of the items within the GDPR requirements is that individuals can ask businesses what information is being held about them. And this tied in really nicely with a blog article that I'd read from Sean Dorwood, recommended to me by Canty Mystery, about SmartList search options. And I thought what we'll do this afternoon is just spend 10 minutes just looking at how we can use SmartList search options to get information out of GP in case individuals require the information being held about them in GP. So just 5 options that we're going to go through this afternoon. We're going to talk about the any field option, which allows us to look in any field to get data out within a smart list. We're then going to explore some of the wildcards you can use in order to get certain data out of the system within the search criteria in smart lists. So let's go across to GP and we'll have a look at how this works in practice. So here I've got my Microsoft Dynamics GP and I can go into Smart Lists. And as an example this afternoon, I'm going to use one of my colleagues, Campbell McLeish. Now Campbell could be working in the organization as a salesperson. We could be sending him out as an engineer. He could also be a contact person within our sales invoices. His name might be in there as the contact person. So what I wanted to show you through a smart list is how we can search through the data to see and find Campbell's name inside there. So let's go across to my sales smart lists. And we'll go across to my standard out-of-the-box sales transactions smart list. So here I've got information about orders, back orders, invoices that have gone through the system. And what I can do is I can add in some fields that I know might contain personal data. So if I go into columns, let's go and add in salesperson ID. And while I'm here, let's also add in the salesperson ID from the customer master. So we can compare that because Campbell might be a salesperson within the customer master. Let's also go and have a look at contact name. See if he's a contact within these sales documents. And again, I'll pull in the contact person from the sales master here. So I've been holding down the control key so I can just select those specific fields. And when I click OK, those fields are added into my smart list. I must have dropped the salesperson once, so let me just go and add the salesperson again. Okay, so I've got those extra fields now sitting at the end of my smart list. Now in order to find any sales document that contains the name Campbell McLeish, I can go to the search option here and using the any field option I can say look in this list for any field that contains the value Campbell. These searches can be quite slow in that it's got to look in every field across the way here. So I might have wanted to restrict the number of columns in the search just to those that are needed that might have that personal information in. But the search is now coming back and I can see it populating here with a number of invoices that are on the system. If I scroll over to the right, I can see, yeah, these are where Campbell is the salesperson ID. And across in the contact person name, I can see Campbell McLeish being the contact person. So it's picking up both types invoices, where he's the contact person and where he's the salesperson. Now that I've got that data out, once it's finished, I can use the export to Excel to be able to create a copy of that data that I want to send to Campbell to show him where we have his name within our system. So that's all very nice that it can check all the fields across the way there with the any field option. The SmartList also enables us to look within fields that maybe we're not quite sure how the data is formatted. So by using the wildcards, we can play with that. So what we also do at Nolan's is when we create an invoice, it might be that we use the name of the person as a description within the item for that invoice. So if I go to my sales line items, this again, the standard smart list that comes out of the box, I can see invoices, fulfillment orders, back orders, etc., what items I've sold, and the item description. So if I look in here and say search, where the item description contains, and here I can put in some formatting as well. So I can say, by using the percentage sign, I can say it might have any number of characters, it might have any text before the word Campbell. I'm not going to spell out the whole name, I'm just going to use CAM. I'm not sure how it might be formatted within the item description string. I can put a percentage in the middle, so any number of characters between that and the letters MAC and percentage. So show me anywhere within the system where the sales line item description contains the word CAM and the word MC. If I click OK, it comes back to me with an invoice for some engineers' time, work performed by Campbell Mac on the 12th of April. So again, if that's the convention that you use within your data, it's easy using that wildcard to be able to find where Campbell's name might be within one of those invoices. The same obviously applies across purchasing, across looking through the general ledger, if you're looking at originating document names, etc., within the financial, and within payroll and HR. That's one way of being able to get data out of Dynamics GP to fulfill that requirement. So we talked right at the beginning about some other options to do with wildcards. So let's go look how they might work out. And one of the best ways of showing you that is by looking at our account numbers within the system. So if I go into my accounts smart list here, standard chart of accounts I've got is 342, where the first three characters is the department, then my nominal code, and then a subcode. So using wildcards, I can affect what account numbers are brought back. So if I go into the search, I could say, find me anything where the account number contains, and if I put in everything before 5100, everything afterwards, it pulls back my 5100 accounts. The next thing we're going to talk about is the underscore wildcard. So what the underscore wildcard will do is you can put it in a specific position within the search, and what that will tell the search is it's any character within that particular position. So let's go back to my search, and I'll say, okay, so I want any account number that begins with 100, and I'll put my little separator in there. It has any character as the first first character of the second segment, a 1 in the second character, and any character in 3 and 4, and then anything in the last segment. So what's that going to bring back for me? There we go. It's restricted it only to account numbers beginning with 100 and where the second character is a 1. So the underscore wildcard allows us to specify any character within character position 1, 3 and 4 of that second segment. So that's the underscore one. Let's look at the open brackets, how that works. If we go back to my search, I might want to say, actually, we'll keep with the 100 at the beginning here. The first character of the second segment must either be a 5 or a 6. So I'll put in 5 or 6 within the square brackets. Just by using the percentage sign, I can say, and anything afterwards. I don't really mind. So the first segment must be 100. The second segment must begin with a 5 or a 6. And there, SmartList brings me back anything with a 100, a 5 or a 6. And it doesn't really matter what the second, third or fourth character positions are. Now if I want to combine that as well, I can say actually, so what I want is where it begins with a 5 or a 6, and the second character is a 1. The third character is anything, the fourth character is anything, and the last segment is 0, 0. It brings back 5, 1, 6, 1. Anything, and it's got to have 0, 0. So by combining all of those wildcards, we can put together quite sophisticated searches. The last search I wanted to show you is maybe if you want to exclude certain characters. So let me just go back to my accounts here. We'll search for where the account number contains 100. Where it's a 5 or a 6, and where the second segment is not equal to 1. So what I've used there is the caret sign within the square brackets. And I'll put a percentage at the end. So this is going to bring back any account numbers where the first segment's 100 and the second segment begins with a 5 or a 6, and the second character is not equal to a 1. So there we go. It's brought back 100, 6, 2, 6, 4, 6, 5, etc. So I hope that's been useful. Just looking at some of those wildcard options for smart lists and how to use the any field option if you're looking for specific data across a large number of fields within your Dynamics GP data. Thank you very much for your time today. And if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask about this webinar, please just contact Nolan Business Solutions and we'll be pleased to help you. Thank you.